In this video, I'm going to show you my method for figuring out a smart base location strategy for when Ark Survival Ascended is released in October. Things that we're going to think about and consider are things like, where crystal is, where rich metal is, a proximity to obsidian, to oil, to silica pearls, water pen suitability, cementing paste, pterodon spawns, Rex spawns, as well as where you spawn when you first start. We'll assume that when Ark Survival Ascended comes out, that the spawn locations and the resource locations are going to be the same. It's not a new game after all, it's just a remake of the existing Ark. And we've got perfect information on everything in Ark Survival Evolved, the island. So where we can go is if we go over to do some research, we want to go over to ark.wiki.gg/wiki/resources_map/the island. We need to do a couple things before we can actually use this resource map to do some research. First of all, we need to make it full screen, and then we need to hide everything, and we need to turn off this caves option here under the toggle, because that way we won't get any extraneous cave resources showing up on the map. So where are the resources? Mostly on the island map. Well, let's see. The crystal is located in the winter biome. Now, the winter biome is just a little bit too cold to start off with. We will die. So we won't consider the winter biome as a starting location. But, as you see, it's pretty loaded with resources. So there's crystal. We'll do rich metal. So there's rich metal, mostly located in the northern portion of the map. In the winter biome, there is some on the mountains. Each mountain seems to have a little obsidian. You can see the most of that, again, centered around the winter biome. We've also got some of the volcano, some of the island, mountain, these two mountains beside it. Oil's a little different. Oil is all around the outside of the map in the water, with some exceptions. I know there's some in here, but I've never found them. But where there are oil on land is right here somewhere. There's an island, and it has got a number of oil nodes that you can farm, as well as along the north shore here in the winter biome. There are oil nodes to farm. So part of our strategy, or things to take into consideration for our strategy, is early oil, up until we have a water tame that we can go and get oil. So we'll be considering that in some of our later videos. The other thing we want to look at is silica pearls. Again, silica pearls on the outside of the map. Again, one exception, right in here, this area right in here has got silica pearls that you can relatively easily go and pick up. So that's something else to take into consideration. Next, we're going to consider beaver dams. Beaver dams are located at these positions on the map where the red X's are. And in those locations, you'll find beavers and beaver dams that spawn. Some of them are much more active than others, like the one to the far west, I think, is one of the ones that I usually see beaver dams at. But yes, so what are some other things that we need to consider? Well, we need to consider some spawn locations. The next thing we want to consider is pterodons, because we want to build and be airborne and be able to access as much of the map as soon as we can. So pterodon spawns are also very important. And you can see here that although there's a big green area here for pterodons, you can see that over here there's some green, over here there's some green, here there's some green. So there are some slightly better spots in here for some pterodons. Next thing we want to look at is where Rexes spawn. So Rexes spawn in these areas, all around here. Okay, so let's turn on all the resources in the beaver dams and look at the map and see where we should build. Well, there are a couple of places that do stand out. Now, let's see. Going from the lowest to the highest, let's start out with location number 3. Our number 3 base location is along the northeastern part of the map. It is a good location for a water base, is relatively close to all resources, with 3 mountains close by. The only drawback is that it is not as close to some resources as other locations. Pterodons are rarer in this location, but still possible to get. Resources spawn on 2 nearby mountains, which is great. And Rexes are also nearby, so that's also really good. Let's take a look at the area here. Our number 2 base location has one major drawback: no place for a water pump. But if you can get over that, then my number 2 location will be a great location for you to build. Our number 2 location is built in Ark Survival Ascended, is around the middle of the map, approximately 45 by 50. This location has resources close by on 4 mountains. Pterodons are plentiful in the nearby redwood forest. Rexes spawn in the area, making it perfect for taming Rexes, and we can see where the beaver dams are. And we can see now that we're looking around, we can see that there are a number of great base locations in this area, as you can see from the map. The easiest way to get to this area is to start here at East Zone 3 and probably run it. That brings us to our number 1 place to build our base when Ark Survival Ascended releases, and that is just below the winter biome on the east side of the map. That area is our number 1 area for building a base. It has resources close to it, as well as spawns. It has room for a water pen. It's got great resources, great locations. Pterodons spawn in the area. Rexes spawn in the area. And we can take a look around and see that this area has got a lot of space. And when we spawn in, we want to select West Zone 3 as our starting point and then run our way up the beach. That's what happened. I stream on twitch.tv/Menzerite, and this is actually what happened. I started down here and I worked my way up. Have you thought about your strategy for when Ark Survival Ascended releases? Have you thought about the early game, what you're going to do? Mid-game? Late game? We're here to give you as many systems, tips, strategies to dominate Ark Survival Ascended when it releases. So, if you like the video, hit the like button. It really helps us out. And if you want to stick with us as we prepare for our Ark Survival Ascended release date, then hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we post videos. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.